Welcome to the show. Look who's here. He's the founder of the Guardian Angels. He's Curtis Sliwa. Curtis, it's great to have you back on, or rather on for the first time. We want to have you back on. That's what I have in my head. Curtis, listen, I want you to weigh in. Your reaction to the funerals for the NYPD cops today, what was your thought when you saw it?
Massive turnout. Incredible. I've never seen a funeral that had collected so many citizens and so many law enforcement officials from throughout the Northeast sector, knowing that a blizzard is coming. So you knew these people were dedicated. They waited outside for 3 hours. It was cold out there. And the person who lit everybody up was the wife of the slain police officer, who put it right in the hands of the brand new elected Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and said, it's because of policies like yours that we've lost our city. And she got a rousing standing ovation. So I think we're beginning to see a turnaround now where people begin to understand they must support law enforcement or anarchy will prevail.
We hear you, Curtis. Okay, now moving on to this. New York Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. His office not denying he only paid about a tiny $213 a year in property taxes on his condo in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn, thanks to a sweetheart tax deal under a law he supported when he was in the New York State Assembly. More do as I say, not as I do Democrats. What do you say about this?
Well, it's sort of like the old statement made by Leona Helmsley, if you remember, only little people pay taxes, my pretty. This is what happens when you feel entitled, like Hakeem Jeffries. And let's face it, he's had a bad week. Nancy Pelosi decided I'm running for a new 2-year hitch. So that means he's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait. But can you imagine? They have dual incomes in the Jeffries family. Both he earns good money, his wife earns good money. And yet they're living off of the generosity of the New York City taxpayers. And unfortunately, there's this sweetheart deal that was created a while back that helps the real estate developers, but also helps people of means who have their condos. And he's got to pay his fair share. It's sort of like you want to lead and set the example. But it's typical, as you said, do as I say, not as I do. Democrats, Republicans, they believe that they are entitled. And you notice his excuse was, please, don't reveal where I live because of January 6th. People may be stalking me and hunting me down. Let me tell you something. If Hakeem Jeffries walked down the street, you couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
So he pays like $53 a quarter or so in property taxes. I mean, he's paying $250 or less since 2010, Curtis. I mean, this is this abatement program for if you have a 20% of your apartments set aside for affordable or low-income individuals. So who's a low-income person in his condo?
Maybe the superintendent. But I got to tell you, this scam was set up years ago to try to create more affordable housing, to basically say, okay, we know that there are going to be upper middle class and wealthy people who will purchase or lease out these condos, and then we put 20% aside. We've had more homelessness, more people seeking housing where there is no housing. And so this was basically made for those who just completely took advantage of the system. And I must tell you, if he gets into any kind of leadership position in the House over my dead body, we're going to just see more of Hakeem Jeffries creating these kinds of schemes in which the powerful, the elite, get over on the average everyday people.
I mean, they got nearly $6 trillion spending. $800 billion is left to be spent. Bill de Blasio set aside for his wife ran a nearly $1 billion program. Nobody knows where the money went for, mental health here in New York City, and we have problems still in the streets. Curtis, I want to talk about this because you love New York City. You're a diehard New Yorker. You fight for New York City. I want to talk about your roots. My brother-in-law is from Brooklyn. He said you started out working at a MacDonald's on Fordham Road in the Bronx. Is that true?
That is correct. I'm a Brooklyn boy myself, but ended up, my calling was in the Bronx when the Bronx was burning. I was a night manager in Mickey D's in the Bronx in 1979. And this February will be 43 years of overseeing the Guardian Angels. I started it right out of McDonald's, patrolling the subways at night. We're now in 13 countries, 130 cities. And it's almost like deja vu. It's almost like we're moving back to that period of time that motivated me to start the Guardian Angels.
We hear you. We need your voice, Curtis. Come back, okay? It's good to see you, Curtis Sliwa. Thanks for all you did for New York City. Come back soon. Another lawsuit against the White House for collapsing the border.